The first time I heard 100 Gecs, I was at the gym on a Tuesday night. I walked around in a daze, barely hanging on as the genre teleported from track to track and even within songs. Standing by the dumbbell rack, I texted my friend, "It's like Animal Crossing mixed with PC music, mixed with those stupid hard songs and Dance Dance Revolution, mixed with radio rap, mixed with mid-2000s punk." 100 Gecs, made up of Dylan Brady and Laura Les, hit the mainstream in 2019 with their first record, 1000 Gecs. Their highly anticipated follow-up record, released in March 2023, and it represents a distinct evolution to their sound, in the form of a nu metal punk ska revival sound. Wait, don't. Many are quick to label their music as some sort of gimmick, an act of provocation or rebellion. In an interview with The Fader, Laura Les rejects the idea that their music is exclusively a post-ironic bit. She's like, no, we made this because we like it. How else would it sound this good?
Yeah, I mean, like, we know what we're doing, is what I keep saying in all the fucking interviews. Like, it's nuanced. We are not trying to do it just to do it. We're not like, we should do a nu metal song because people hate nu metal. That would be really funny. It's like we were listening to nu metal and we were like, God damn, that shit smacks.
This shit's fire.
That shit's fire.
I love 100 Gecs. And one of the reasons why, I think, is because it's music that understands the experience of living in a human body in the age of the internet. Their first album was made while Brady and Les were living in LA and Chicago, sending Logic sessions back and forth over email. But their second record was made largely in person. They've done live sets in Minecraft, but they've also done them at Boiler Room. They exist in a superposition between online and offline, grungy and silly, confessions of love and toothaches. It's not just shitposts, and it's not just serious. It's both at the same time, wildly oscillating between the two. It's sincerity and irony. Because sometimes, hyper-condensed absurdist bits are actually the truest way to express a resonant human experience. And that leads me to why Frog on the Floor is the best song of 2023. Frog on the floor, we start with the smallest seed of an idea. It's just vocals, no other instruments. Frog on the Floor. Where'd he come from? Nobody knows where he'll go. Here in the very first section, we have a lot going on. This song is called Frog on the Floor, so I'm not sure what I was expecting. I guess it wasn't hearing Brady sing those exact 4 words as soon as the song begins. Frog on the floor. Lyrically, there's something I'm obsessed with here. Maybe this is unimportant, but bear with me for a sec. Focus, if you will, on the line, nobody knows. This line seems to be a response, answering the question posed in the previous line. Where did he come from? To which the answer is, nobody knows. But we thought there might be a period after nobody knows, since it feels like a full thought, a complete sentence. But no. The following line is a dependent clause. Remember learning about those in English class? In order to be a full sentence, it requires a subject and a verb. Where he'll go is not a sentence that stands on its own because it lacks a subject. But if we look to the previous line, we'll see that this line provides a subject. So the line, nobody knows, can be used for 2 separate sentences. It answers the preceding question, and it starts the following sentence. So when we hear where he'll go, it upsets our expectation of what nobody knows was in reference to. The phrase, nobody knows, is almost like the frog himself, unable to be pinned down. He's an unpredictable little fellow. This seemingly simple 4-line chorus, in fact, contains an entire arc within it. We start with a simple yet immediately appealing subject, frog on the floor. Big fan of this, love a frog in a slightly unexpected place. The concept contains within it a dramatic tension. We have so many questions about this frog and why it's being discussed. The story escalates upon the introduction of the next line, where'd he come from? There's a wistfulness to this question, introducing a sense of mystery and intrigue. What's this frog's deal? But then the narrator resigns to the fact that there is so little accessible information about this frog. Nobody knows. By the third line, we have reached the end of Act 2, often known in screenwriting as the dark night of the soul. The protagonist seems to have given up, or at least accepted that some things in this world are simply unknowable. But then, just when all hope was lost, the narrator uses a linguistic sleight of hand to introduce a revelation. We thought that nobody knew where the frog came from, which is true. But then we come to realize that also, nobody knows where he'll go. They come to accept the very same unknowability towards the future is perhaps the frog's greatest asset. There is hope, potential, direction for this frog. He has agency. And thus, we enter into the next era.
2.
With a slide down of the keys of a jazz organ, we're taken to the next level. This is the part where the beat goes absolutely goofy. It's unclear what we're hearing here. It kind of sounds like clown music, kind of ska inspired. It's like sort of polka, I think. A CD you'd find at the library under a section titled Children's Music. It's just drums, organ, bass guitar, and vocals. It's a boom bop type of beat. Brady's vocals are doubled for maximum thickness, with his takes slightly out of tune with one another, giving it a nice messy crunch.
He's been chilling in the basement for a minute. I just think it's time we moved into the kitchen. Give him some space and let him do his thing. Make him feel safe and listen to him sing.
Level 2 builds on Level 1. It expands on the frog lore, providing more context to where he is currently, the basement, and where he may be going in the future, the kitchen. A key dramatic and comedic premise of the song is that frogs aren't typically people. Even something as simple as giving the frog he/him pronouns lends a distinctive personhood to an amphibian who we may have easily overlooked or considered a creature without a self. We're back in English class, baby, because this is personification. The degree to which this frog is treated like a person evolves as the song continues. In the line, "He's been chillin' in the basement for a minute," we learn Brady has actually been keeping tabs on this frog. Sounds like he's checked in on him a couple times now. I just think it's time we moved into the kitchen. This line is so rich. So apparently, Brady has thoughts on where the frog should go next. There's an implicit resignation, knowing that he doesn't ultimately have much power over the frog. The frog is, of course, autonomous. And as we know from the chorus, nobody knows where he'll go. One of the reasons this line is very rich to me is that it's never really explained. Why does Brady think the kitchen would be better? Is he trying to get the frog out of the house and the kitchen is closer to the door? Does he want the frog to get some daylight, some fresh air, or does he just feel the vibes are better there? And then, my favorite phrase in the song, "Give him some space." It makes me imagine there's more people hanging around than just Brady, and Brady's trying to intercede. Maybe someone wanted to scoop the frog into a Tupperware and take him outside, but Brady's like, no, that's not the move. We gotta let him chill. He'll move when he's ready. These lyrics take on new meaning later once we know more about the frog's personality and journey, but the song's already hinting that the frog may function as a metaphor for a friend who's not doing so hot. He has a sick voice, he loves to sing, he just loves to fucking hang out, but he's just going through a hard time right now. Brady feels like the thing this guy needs is just a little space, maybe sing a little, and he'll come up to the kitchen when he's ready. He probably needs a sandwich, but we can't force it. We have to let him come to that conclusion on his own. Telling someone to give a frog some space is a really powerful image on its own. But to also draw a parallel to a nuanced human experience takes the joke from strong to perfect. It's both ironic and deeply sincere. That's kind of why I love 100 Gecs.
3.
The chorus is back, but this time it's not a cappella. It's backed by this clown polka type beat.
Frog on the floor.
Adding some strummed guitars to give it a beachy, summery feel. Now that we know more about the frog, we revisit the chorus with a whole new perspective. This time, we're thinking more about the metaphor. We're imagining a friend who came through for a few nights, crashing on the couch. We don't know when he'll leave, and honestly, maybe he just let himself in and didn't ask. But on this chorus, he's a participant in his own narrative. He ribbits on the offbeats. We get to hear him speak for himself. What do you think he's saying?
4.
This is where Les hops on the track and hits us with a verse. Now, I don't know exactly what happened to the Gecs studio, so I can't confirm this, but my intuition is this started as like a goofy little demo, like 45 seconds long or something like that, and then they revisited it, and Les was like, this frog sounds cool as hell, and took it to a whole nother level. We learn at the beginning of the verse that Les actually already knows the frog, and is stoked other people are getting to hang out with him.
Hey, yeah, I heard you met my friend the other weekend. I heard that he was telling croaks at the party. And then he got on his front legs and did a cake stand. Wow, that's so cool. I wish I was there so I could see it.
We learn that this frog does more than just chill in the basement. He's a comedian, he did a keg stand. Another one of my favorite lyrics is, wow, that's so cool, I wish I was there so I could see it. She loves her friend so much. She's so bummed she missed it, and she's so stoked people were vibing with the frog at the party. There's something so understated and heartbreakingly sincere about this line. I wish I could have been there to see it. I get emotional thinking about it. Remember when we knew nothing about this frog? The lore is so much deeper now, and we're only 1 minute and 8 seconds in.
5.
Things take a turn in the last half of Les's verse. Apparently the frog was doing great for the first half of the party, but then he got a little messy.
And then the party got real still, and nobody made a sound, 'cause he was chasing flies around, and he was stuffing them in his mouth. Give him some space, he's still working it out. Give him some space, he doesn't know what people think about.
What I love about this detail is that it's actually super normal for frogs to eat flies. They do that. But for fun, I guess Gecs were like, what if that was weird? This song recontextualizes it as if it were a party foul. Sure, if a human did that, it'd be kind of weird, but this frog is just out here doing normal frog things, and everyone's like, bro, you see that guy? He's putting flies in his mouth. What the fuck? This behavior is given more color by the next line, give him some space, he's still working it out. You'll remember that in verse 1, Brady saying, give him some space and let him do his thing, make him feel safe and listen to him sing. But now, in the second verse, we are giving him space to process the chaos of his life and learn from his destructive behavior. In the final line, Les guides us out of the serious and redirects us to the absurd. She reminds us that he is, after all, a frog. He can't be expected to understand the dynamics of a human social setting. The song is joking until it's not, until it is again. This part also differs from everything that came before musically, in tone and use of instruments. Les starts almost whispering this section like it's a secret, but then crescendos to a yell on, he was chasing flies around and he was stuffing them in his mouth. On the first half of the verse, it had a bouncy oompa organ and double time drums, but those are gone now. It switches to a more halftime feel with strums of muted guitar, giving the song a new sense of tension. On Give Him Some Space, the organ comes back in, but this time, it's holding long chords, giving it a gospel feeling. It makes us feel for the frog. He's just trying his best. And that last line, give him some space, he doesn't know what people think about, is so esoteric and mysterious, but it's also a clear button on the end of a perfect verse. It feels like a punchline, but it's not really a joke. It's kind of a joke, but in like a serious kind of way. I think part of the closure comes in the form of the melody. The lyric, he's still working it out, goes 2, 1, 6, 1, 2, 3, 2, ending on the 2.
He's still working it out.
The 2 wants to resolve down to the 1, the root of the key, but it doesn't. It's tense. But then the next part, he doesn't know what people think about, repeats that exact same melody, but resolves it. It adds 1, 2, 1.
He doesn't know what people think about.
So though that lyric isn't necessarily a punchline, it is given punchline energy by the melody. I am trying desperately to explain why this phrase feels so definitive, but I can't, it just works.
6.
In the last bar of the previous verse, all the instruments cut out except for Les's vocal, and then we get hit with an bringing us back to the chorus. But this time, we've learned so much more about the frog. The chorus feels distinctly different, knowing what we do about the frog's chaotic behavior. But all good journeys must end.
7.
We have arrived at the final layer, the lowest layer of hell. We are entering the chilled out breakdown. Were you expecting this? Was I expecting this? Musically, this is the equivalent of speeding down the road and turning left so hard that your car goes on 2 wheels and flips over. But somehow, 100 Gecs manages to make a 45-degree turn where your car defies physics and the wheels stay on the ground the whole time, and it just makes like a low bitrate car screeching sound effect. The tempo slows by about 15 BPM, taking us into a loose, almost psychedelic space. It's like dub reggae all of a sudden. We have entered the swamp. There's a chilled out bass line taking the lead, accompanied with some relaxed drums, detuned, delay-heavy guitars, and a chorus of ribbits. The lyrics to this final section give us further insight into the frog's true character.
He gets the party jumping still when he's jumping all around. He's not worried about the bill, he's just fucking around. Will you buy my friend a beer if you see him jumping around? Cause he's got flies in his mouth and he needs to wash them down.
He's not defined by his location, whether he's in the basement or the kitchen or his actions at a party. No, it's more than that. He's got a lot of energy, just a lot of love to give, and it doesn't always pan out in the cleanest of ways. But he's not stressed about it. He takes it easy. He doesn't worry about finances, he stays in the present. He's just here to have a good time and maybe eat some flies. Maybe it's time we meet him where he's at. Les leaves us with a lesson for the power of showing kindness, for the importance of allowing people to be multifaceted, reminding us that sometimes we need to take it easy. The final line, "'cause he's got flies in his mouth and he needs to wash them down," tells us all we need to know. We're still literally talking about a frog who is eating flies, and it would be really fucking cool of you to help him out by buying him a frosty cold beer. The beat rides out and Les lays down some ethereal, improvised vocals, ending right back home. The final melody is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, landing back at the root. And for a brief moment, we end where we began, with just vocals, no instruments. Perfect song. Conclusion. I keep coming back to that quote from the Fader interview. Les seems genuinely a little irked that people think they're just doing elaborate bits. She's like, no, the stuff we do sounds good because we actually like it. And that comes through in their music. It's often strange, but it is not fake or over-manufactured. I think I really resonate with art that is strange but deeply felt. I like stuff that feels like it was made because the people making it were passionate about it and thought it was amazing. Also, just a quick aside, it's a testament to how good this song is that it's even on the album at all. They reportedly made hella songs for this album, including making the whole thing and scrapping it and starting over. And this is one of the 10 that made the cut.
I've heard like various numbers about how many demos that you'd made.
They're all true.
What's the going one? 4,000?
I think the highest one was something around 600.
600?
We've gotten questions where people are like, did you really do 4,000 demos for this album? Yeah, we did.
I mean, Carly Rae Jepsen does like 300 for each album.
Rookie numbers. 3,700, too few.
I think when people don't get 100 Gecs, they're often stuck on level 1. They don't really get why anyone would make music that sounds like this, why anyone would write such a silly little song, why anyone would want to listen to this. And that's genuinely fine. Not everything has to be for everyone. But I think that something that their detractors don't fully appreciate is that this thing that seems dumb on level 1 can actually be 7 layers deep if you want it to be. This song can be a goofy, cute little joke, or it can be a delicious 7-layer dip. Bring it to your next barbecue. Song of the summer, baby. Song of the fucking summer. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you sticking with me on this one, especially anyone who made it to the end of this video who isn't already a 100 Gecs fan. You're so brave. You're so brave. If you like it, press the like button. If you didn't, okay. If you're not already subscribed, give a little button, a little push. I want to keep the content a little varied on this channel so that there's a precedent if I want to make something way out in left field. I want to talk about video games, movies, music, podcast ads. Also, this is the first video I've made since finding out that my Mamma Mia video has over 200,000 views. So that's really exciting, but also really strange. It's been really fun seeing people connect with that and finding out that I am not the only person in the world who thinks that movie is bonkers. One way that I can make it viable to support myself doing this and do it more often is if you subscribe to my Patreon. You can get your name in the credits. You can get, what can you get? What are the fucking... You can get your name in the credits. You can get downloads of my music. To accompany this video, there's gonna be another one on my Patreon where I talk about how I feel about every song on the 10,000 Gecs album. This and Doritos and Fritos make up my theory that this album is partially about Laura's experience relocating to LA. So if you want to see that, check it out. See you in the next one. Bye.
All right, you might know this song. Sing along if you know the words. Here we go.